Making money online in Nigeria requires hard work, persistence, and consistency. Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 ways to make money online. It doesn't matter if you're a student or a stay-at-home parent or you're looking for a side hustle. There are plenty opportunities for you to make money online. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1, freelancing. Freelancing is a great way to make money online. Freelancing, you could go with your talent or several skills in different sectors. There are plenty of platforms you can work with like Upwork, People Per Hour, Fiverr, and several other platforms. Several skills are available there like writing, copywriting, editing, proofreading, graphics design, and web development, and several other opportunities. All you need to do is to build a skill, develop a skill or a talent that people are willing to pay for, and then you can start making money as a freelancer on the several platforms. If you want me to share more on freelancing, put it in the comment box below so that I will see your comment and make a video showing you how to make money as a freelancer and how my friend has made a 6-figure from freelance business. Number 2, online tutoring. Online tutoring is another very secret way of making money online. A lot of people have not harnessed this particular opportunity. Being an online tutor would cause you to have more money. Being an online tutor means being an online teacher. There are many websites and platforms just like VIP Kid and TutorMe. These platforms connect tutors with students in different countries, bringing them together. All you need to do is to be skilled at a particular subject or topic. And then you can apply on these platforms and several other platforms that are available. You can start being an online tutor with ready students willing to pay you any amount just to teach them and make them better persons in the society. So if you are an expert in any particular subject, these kind of platforms are very good for you, and they are another way to make passive income online. Number 3, affiliate marketing. This is another very popular way of making money online in Nigeria. A lot of rich people you see that are young, they made their money from affiliate marketing. It doesn't matter the kind of affiliate marketing. It could be selling of products and making referrals and so much more. Affiliate marketing involves selling other people's products with referral links and making referral bonuses from those products and services that you sell. What do you need to start your affiliate marketing business? All you need is a website or a social media account with a large following, and then you can start making money as an affiliate marketer. There are several opportunities to make money as an affiliate marketer. There are people that will say, I'm not good at marketing anything. That's a lie. We all market something. Number 5, entrepreneurship is a call to sacrifice. Many people think entrepreneurship is a call to travel from place to place, to go hiking, to go for sports. No, entrepreneurship is a call to sacrifice. The journey for entrepreneurship is not easy. Don't let anyone deceive you. This is what most people will not tell you. Entrepreneurship is someone coming out. An entrepreneur is someone coming out looking for a problem, finding a problem, and then searching for a solution to the problem that he finds or that she finds. Now, this entrepreneur will not just find it so easy. The entrepreneur would need to generate ideas to create a supply of funds. The entrepreneur will need to create how to get more partners to his business. The entrepreneur will need to think about how to market the products that he or she has made. This is a call to sacrifice. That is why the most hardworking people on earth are not those that do menial jobs. The most hardworking people are those that think. Thinking is real job. Thinking is real work. And the more you think, the better you get at it, and the greater you get to be in life. Number 6, an entrepreneur must study his or an environment and adapt the principles that is prevalent in that location. Now, when we talk about adapting to the principles of that environment, you talk about you looking at the important things you need to do. Now, a business that works in the United States is different from the business that works in Nigeria, and is also different from the business that works in Ghana. So when you are looking at marketing, you can't go to the United States and begin to do your marketing in Chui language. But you can't go to Ghana and begin to market in English. Like, your marketing is going to be limited. Now, adapting to the principles of marketing in Ghana market, the Ghana market is populated with people that love to hear their language at every given time. They love to identify with themselves. So when your marketing is in Chui, you will reach out to more persons than when you go there to market with top-notch English. Why? Because I'm in Nigeria at the moment, and Nigeria is my country. One of the key problems I've been thinking about is the security challenges in Nigeria. Now, there are several places in Nigeria where insecurity is prevalent, and several presidents have come and gone, several governors have come and gone, and yet these challenges are still prevalent. The question is, what have we done as a nation to support the private sector creating their own securities? Now, we've had several reports of important persons that were moving with escorts of, armed policemen, and yet kidnappers intercepted, spread bullets on the mobile police and killed them all, and took hold of their victim, kidnapped them, and then requested for huge ransom. What if you invest in the security in Nigeria? What happens to creating a solution? You have all the ideas, what it takes, you've learned so much about defense. What does it take to create a good security channel? In several nations, there are several private security. You wouldn't even know they're putting on suit. They have license to guns. They have the source where they can buy the guns. Now, not just buying the gun, they are trained to understand the movement in wherever they are. So they know when there is an attack coming. They are very conscious by virtue of what they have learned. Now, the private sector will be more important. The private sector will be more, focused. And there are people that are ready to pay any amount to get that level of security in their homes, in their families, and in anywhere they go without carrying uniform men. Why? Because they've taken time to train these people in the private sector. Now imagine the nation says, we've tried to fight and to destroy the security issues in our nation. Now we are creating a $10 billion fund to support the private sector who are willing to create their private security team. So now the government could be giving contracts to this private sector, telling them, okay, this is a contract for you to go and find out where the Boko Haram is. How can we stop this Boko Haram stuff? How can we stop the herdsmen challenge once and for all? So they've tried their public service and it's not working. Now they can work in tandem with the private sector to create a solution. But is there any such room? No. So who would want to invest in it when there is no support for that? So everybody keeps quiet and says, well, we will just be there. People have created several vigilante groups which are doing perfectly well and has reduced the rate of stealing, crime in several estates. What if you invest in the security challenge? Hello, welcome to another very interesting episode. I'm here to teach you how you can make money and how you can improve on yourself every single day. Today I'm going to be discussing becoming an employee that every employer wants to hire and wants to retain. Now, the weaker the economy, the more the news about companies laying down their staff. And then you notice that every employee begins to be panicking, begins to panic. What if my name will be in the next list of people that they'll be dropping? All right, I want to tell you how to become an employee that every employer wants to retain and wants to hire. The call to become an employee is a very important call. Not everyone understands this very important fact. The fact that you have plans to become a leader tomorrow, the fact that you've learned about entrepreneurship and you have plans to start your own company should not give you the leverage to misbehave at your place of work. At every given point in time, you must do something that makes you stand out. There are certain characteristics, there are certain attitudes that you are going to display as an employee, and no employer would want to let you go. When you decide to leave, they'll be begging you to increase your salary because you have made yourself stand out. Can you imagine an employer having an employee that comes to the place of work 1 hour earlier? That employee cannot be the same with other employees in the company. These are things you do. I tell people at every time, whenever I meet, I tell them, fight and strive to become what everybody is not. This is not creating a new you. No. Becoming someone every other person is not creates attraction to you. Now, one of the things I discovered in life is this. Now, if you are in a business room, and everybody is all clothed with their suits and their tie, and they are listening to the seminar, and then someone just comes to the room without a top, just bare body, putting on boxers and putting on canvas or sneakers with an eyeglass and the face all painted white. I tell you, everybody in that room will turn around and be looking at that person. Why? The person has made himself different, so he has caused an attraction. Meanwhile, in that room, there are over 1,000 persons in that room, and these 1,000 persons, they don't even know themselves. They can't recognize themselves if they go outside. But you see that person that walked in there looking so casual and so useless, everybody will take note of him by virtue of how he has made himself to stand out from the crowd. Now, as an employee, you must learn to stand out from the crowd. Make yourself needed. A wise man said, if your absence is not felt and your presence was not felt, then you were never needed in the first place. What makes every other person angry should not make you angry. Now, you may be angry, but you don't need to show your anger. You know, the Bible says something. It says, be angry, but sin not. That means you can be angry without displaying it. That does not show hypocrisy. It only shows a self-controlled human that you are. Are you a salesperson? These are the things I've observed. I go to the restaurant. I go to several outlets to buy things. And one of the things I've discovered that is prevalent, at least in Nigeria and in Rivers State, in Lagos, one of the things that are very prevalent are disgruntled elements that are serving in those places. They are frowning their faces, they will never laugh. I discovered that the places I go to where the person at the stand is so brightened up, is so happy, is always cheering, is smiling, I end up paying more than I'm supposed to pay. I end up buying more than I'm supposed to buy. Why? Because of the cheerfulness of the person standing before me. Money is not easy, so nobody is happy spending their money. So if you are there to represent your company in sales, in marketing, then you must cheer up at all times. So the number one thing every employee must do is to cheer up at all times. People are already depressed from their homes before coming to work. People are already depressed from their homes before coming to associate with your company. One of the best gifts you can give to your company is to be cheerful. This will cause different persons to want to come to your company, come to your office, because they know that they're going to meet a joyful environment, a place of laughter that is going to cheer them up. And that's why people pay so much money just to sit in a venue where a comedian would entertain them and make them laugh, just to cheer themselves up and to be happy and to build and increase their creativity. Hello, Have you been looking for a business to start in 2023? You know, when the year starts, a lot of people are looking out for their New Year resolutions and things they need to start to become better than the way they were in the former year. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you several businesses that you can start and start being profitable. Now sit back and watch. Number one, start a blogging business. Now, there are people that are good with writing. I tell people, if you're an author, go into blogging. Now, blogging will not cost you much. Some sites will just charge you $2 per month, $10 per month just for your hosting. And then getting your domain name is less than $10. We're talking about businesses you can start with less than 100,000 naira or less than $200. So blogging is a business you can start. How do you start the blogging business? You need to look at the niche. What kind of subject are you interested in? What kind of subject are you passionate about? Lots of companies are spending billions of dollars every year just to market. So what they need is a content that has their kind of niche and their kind of audience, and they're willing to pay any amount of money for that. And blogging is just an example. Now you can start your blog just by getting a WordPress. Most WordPress are free, but if you want to take it further, you can get a customized WordPress that gives you exactly what you want. And this ranges around $70 thereabout. So with $10, you can get your domain name, you can get the hosting plan, and then you can start blogging immediately. You can decide to also buy your WordPress plugins, that you could use, and you can start blogging. So all you need to do, you just go post this in what Google needs. If you need to get in Google AdSense, are evergreen content. So the more you post, have a posting schedule. If it's once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week, stick to your posting schedule, and the algorithm will begin to crawl, like Google will begin to crawl on your website, and then your site will begin to appear in the search engine and the traffic will begin to grow. I'm going to be teaching on profitable blogging later on. Number 2, photography. You can start a profitable photography business. I've seen people make several millions and build houses through that business, like photography, like taking a camera. All you need to do is to get a camera. And even if you don't have the money to get that camera, you can actually start by borrowing a camera. All you need to do is to learn the business. With 50 to 100,000 naira, you can learn how to use a camera profitably, how to edit the photos, and several other things can be learned. All you need is the skills. Now, when you get a job, you can hire the camera with as low as 10,000 naira to 20,000 naira, and then you can cover the event, and people charge as high as 150 to 200,000 naira per event. So you can start a photography business. You can take it further, set up a social media platform where you post your pictures and your edits, and people will begin to look for you. You could tell them that you can actually come and shoot for them in their various houses. And then as your business begins to expand, you can get materials that you could use for the background even when you shoot in their homes. Number 3, dry cleaning business. You can start a profitable dry cleaning business today in Nigeria. A lot of people. In this video, I'm going to be showing you several businesses that you can start and start being profitable. Number 6, house cleaning business. A lot of people need a company. This is very scarce in Nigeria right now. A lot of people need companies that can come and clean their offices, their homes, their hotels, like external companies. So of course, they already have people cleaning their houses every day, but they need companies, and most of these companies exist, but they are out of business because they lack publicity and they are not friendly. I've seen a laundry company, I've seen a house cleaning company in the estate where I live, and they saw I moved in newly to that estate, and they never reached out to me, not even greeting me, or telling me about what they do. So I keep moving on. So learn to publicize your business. Start a home cleaning business. Are you good with cleaning? You could start that business, print a flyer, share to companies, to offices, and to homes, telling them what you have to offer, that you can clean their homes, get the necessary chemicals. It's less than 100,000 naira to get these chemicals, like getting Ariel, getting the soap, getting the broom, and getting a few people in your team that could join. You could create several packages, which you could use: the monthly package, the yearly package, the quarterly package, and then the single package. Of course, the single package should be more expensive, which should drive more sales for your monthly and quarterly packages that should help you raise money to run your business all through the year. Number 7 business to start this year: network or affiliate marketing. Learn to get a product or a service that you feel is profitable. When you get this service, all you need to do is to market it to every other person. And that means you are going for companies that pay referral bonuses for the things that you market. And this is what has helped me in the past. I've started that kind of business in the past when I had no money, and then I began to generate sales in millions because my profits started coming in, and my profits was in millions. Why? I was able to promote several businesses I was involved in, and I still promote businesses today. So get into network marketing. If you're looking for a business, you can start with less than 100,000 naira. And then, of course, you could market it. You could pay for some promotions on radio, for that business. And people will reach out to you or come to your office and they get to know about the business, and you earn your referral commissions on those businesses. Number 8, self-publishing business. Are you a writer? Are you good with writing and you don't know that you can publish a book? I've seen people meet me and said, I noticed you're a writer. You started writing at a very young age. How did you get your publisher? I said, no, I'm a self-publisher. You can start your self-publishing business in Nigeria today. All you need to do is to go to the CAC, register your company, and then use your certificate when it's out. It's less than 20,000 naira to register a business name. And then you get your certificate, your CAC certificate. You can use that certificate and go to the and get your ISBN number. Your ISBN number is what you use to protect your books from being copyrighted. And this is very easy. You can publish your book. All you need to do is get a marketing strategy and a distribution strategy. This is very important. And how can you do that? You can go to several stores. We have Next Cash and Carry, we have Market Square, we have Spa, and so many other chains of supermarkets. You can go there. You could decide to buy several stands that has your brand for all your books. Please, before you go into distribution, target to write and publish at least. Welcome. Today we're looking at a very important subject that will cause you to develop yourself, build your self-esteem, and increase your motivation to life and making financial progress. We're looking at the subject, controlling your financial and mental power through reading. Reading is a golden secret to those who apply it. The brain is a major gift that a lot of people and everybody possesses. The human brain is a command position for the human nervous system. The human brain makes about 2% of the human body weight, and it weighs approximately 1.4 kilograms. The brain is so powerful. The mind can be trained to do anything whatsoever. I've seen people turn their necks 360 degrees. Why? Because they've trained their mind. It's not voodoo. They've trained their mind to do it. Your mind can be trained to attract wealth. Your mind can be trained to also repel wealth. How do you use your mind? Many people have left the mind, their brains, to just lie fallow, and whatever is not being in use will continue to deteriorate. And that is why this episode is going to change your life and make you have a sharper mind, a sharper brain, and a sharper mentality, a good thinking process that will enable you to attract money. The mind can be trained to do anything. The mind can be trained on any skills. We are products of our imaginations. The question is, why should you read? Number 1, reading is good for your brain. Reading improves your memory. Reading improves your communication skills. The more you spend studying a material, reading a book, reading a content, the more you train your memory to remember. If you have difficulties remembering things, when you spend time and cultivate the habit of reading at least 30 minutes or 15 minutes every day, your mind begins to assimilate new information, creates greater parts, and then you discover that you're not training your mind to remember things. And you discover that your mind begins to retain more information and makes you smarter and increases your communication. Number two, reading increases and improves your mental health. Number three, reading improves your focus. A lot of people find out that they are always distracted thinking about so many things. Why? Because they do not read. But when you start reading, spending time to read, it calms you down. Your brain begins to assimilate the information and causes your heartbeat to be normal. You begin to think normal. You begin to think straight. Number four, why should you read? Reading broadens your imagination and increases your creativity. Now, when you're reading fiction books, you discover that your mind begins to think, you begin to guess what is the next plot, what will the character want to do next. And this is like training for the mind. So your imagination, you begin to imagine those characters that you read about, and that helps you greatly and increases your creativity. You discover you're able to think out better ideas and get more creativity for your job and for your kind of business that you do. Number five, reading exercises your brain. The more you read, welcome to today's broadcast. I believe you want to change your financial situation. You want your finances to keep increasing, and you want to grow and multiply your money. Today we're going to be starting the financial literacy series, and we're looking at the subject understanding money. The first step in your search for financial freedom is to understand money. Most people go through life without understanding money, and yet they're looking to have financial freedom. If you don't know what you are looking for, you won't also know when you find it. There are four things you need to understand. Your paper currency is not money. Your credit card is not money. Your debit card is not money. And your checkbook is not money. History determines today's reality and the future. All through the history, money has gone through several evolutions. Number one evolution of money is the hunter evolution. The hunter evolution was a time and season when everybody was a hunter. Everybody has to hunt for animals to eat. So they just hunt to eat. Lands meant nothing to them. Money meant nothing to them. All they were interested in is going to an open space, look for animals, hunt them down, kill the animals, and then feast on it. That's all they did. That's the hunter's evolution. Secondly, we went through another evolution, the farming evolution. At this point, everybody that was into the hunting evolution began to lose their relevance. Because people began to farm, people discovered that there is something under the soil. People began to understand the power of seed time and harvest, where they can plant the seed of yam and they could harvest more yam, and then they started farming, creating food items. So the hunter's evolution, the farmer's evolution. Thirdly, we move to the class evolution. At the class evolution, these ones were higher than the hunter's evolution and the farming evolution. Fourthly, we move to the polygamy evolution. At this stage, people discovered that land has become so powerful, and the more lands that you have, the more farmlands that you have, the greater you become. So people of different value and classes who wanted to be richer and bigger, they were valued by the number of wives and children that they had. So they went into marrying more than one wives. Some were marrying 10 wives, 20 wives, 50 wives, just to have more children and these children would begin to work on their farmland, and that would increase the number of harvests that they will have in the farming season. And then we move to the slave trade evolution. The slave trade evolution is where people wanted to expand. They discovered they couldn't give birth to enough children. So what did they need to do? They needed to start buying different slaves, buying humans from other people to have as much as they want, to work on their farmlands and to expand their territory. It also moved to the next evolution, the trade by barter evolution. The trade by barter evolution is what most of us are still using till today. This is where you come out and say, I have 10 bags of gari and I want a piece of land. And the person decides to accept the 10 bags of gari and gives you a piece of land. The trade by barter system has been so transformational, and people have used it to achieve so much and build a massive following and a massive wealth for themselves and their generation. Welcome. We started a series, and the last episode we spoke about understanding money. And I said, the first step in your search for financial freedom is to understand what money is. And we looked at what money is and what money is not. We said money is not paper. We said money is not a debit card. We said your credit card is not money and your checkbook is not money. Now, if the paper currency that we know is not money, what then is money? Today we're going to be looking at the subject, what is money? Number one, money refers to any medium of exchange. The focus here is on how to get your needs to be met. This means whatever you have now that can be exchanged to solve your needs is money to you. Money is not your regular paper that you use to exchange for commodities. Money is what can be exchanged. It's something that can be exchanged. Your giftings that you have. Are you a designer? You can actually have a deal with a company and say, okay, I'm going to work with you as a designer. Now, if I work for 2 months as a designer, you're going to get me a plot of land at social location. And then you have exchanged your services, you have exchanged your skills and your energy just to get the plot of land. You didn't need to have the money to buy the land, but your skills have created a way for you to have that land. So our focus is changing your mentality, changing the narrative, and making you understand that you are not hopeless because you lack the physical paper, but about having something that is inside you that can be exchanged to get your current need now and to solve the needs of your family. I want to change the flow of your thoughts from solving your problems with the paper currency like the dollar notes, the naira notes, the cedis notes. I want to change your mentality to solving your problems with the real money, which is the value that you have to offer to get that need that you want to be solved. Use what you have to get what you want. And I speak in the positive manner. Many people have abused this concept and they've used guns and bullets to get what they want by robbing people, showing them the guns, and they get scared and hand over their valuables to them. That is the wrong way of getting your needs met with what you have. But there are other ways to get your needs met. Are you an actor? Are you a comedian? There is a skill that you have. There is a gifting that you have. Use it and you can exchange it to get your needs met. Number two, what is money? Money is a reward for problem solving. Money will always flow in the direction of value. Wherever there is value, money will flow. If you solve a problem, then you will get your needs met. Money is like a current. It's always moving and it's always looking for the direction where needs are being met. If I have a toothache, I need a dentist. If I'm sick, I need a doctor. If I'm in the welcome to today's episode. We've looked at understanding money, we've looked at understanding what money is, and today we're going to be looking at where money hides. If you're looking for money, you need to understand where money hides. When you know where something is hidden, it becomes easy to find it. When you're doing a treasure hunt game and you know where they've hidden the treasure, it becomes easier to find. So the broader the place, the more difficult it is to find that treasure. And I tell you, money is a treasure because it's difficult to find. But when you know where money is hidden, you now know where you need to place your attention to discover that money that would solve your needs. And today we're going to be looking at unveiling the places where money hides. The Holy Bible says, many are called, but few are chosen. I'll give a story. During the days of the telegraph, a job opportunity was announced in the newspaper, and several people went to the venue without a receptionist, but there were instructions in the reception office. So this young man went to the place to apply for the job of the Morse code operator. When he got there, he found 7 people seated already, and there was an instruction to fill the name on a certain book and then sit down and wait for the next instruction. So they all sat down. He went there and met the 7 people. He did the same, and he sat down, and they were all waiting. All of a sudden, the young man stood up and walked to a certain room, and the people seated were wondering, this young man just came in and is already moving around. Obviously, he's going to lose his job. He's not going to get this job. He has been disqualified, so we just have only 7 to contend with for the job. Why would he just be moving around? And they were just wondering and laughing and being excited that they have reduced their competition. All of a sudden, the employer came out to the young man and said, thank you, and said to the 7, thank you for applying for this job. We just got the job filled. This young man is now the person that has gotten the job. And they were like, this is unfair. This young man just came in. We've been here before him. He just came in and he just walked in. And how would you just give him the job when we've been here? And they said, there was an instruction. There was an instruction with the Morse code saying, if you can read and understand this, walk into the office at so place and you will get the job immediately. And the young man was the only person that could read that code. And he came in and he got the job. This is to tell you that you have to be observant to understand that there are places where you can find money. And when you take advantage of that opportunity, you get that money. My second story is this. When I was moving in a place in Ghana, I saw a dog. And the dog was about to cross the road. And the dog turned to the left and turned to the right. And then crossed the road, and it was safe. And then I asked myself, if this dog could observe how humans cross the road and could check its left and right to determine if it's set and safe to cross the road. And I asked myself, would a goat do that? I said, no. That's why you have eventualities where lots of goats just die, by cars knocking them down because they don't think and they're not observant. But the dog was able to observe the environment and do the right thing to cross the road. How observant are you to discover the places that money is hidden? Now, what you discover would either give you freedom or bondage. Many people have discovered things they are not supposed to know, and it brought them bondage. And then there are others that have found things that gave them freedom. So what you discover determines the level of freedom that you enjoy on this earth. So the question now is, where does money hide? I have a question for you. What if I tell you that there is gold in your land? What would you do? Would you sit back and laugh? Would you sit back and play? Or would you dig the ground till you get to the position where you can find the gold? What would you do? Let me see that in the comment box below. Number 1, money hides in people. I know this sounds very shocking to you, Money hides in people. Everybody you see around you has money to give to you, but there are things you must do to attract that money that they have to offer. Money hides in people for you if you create a solution to their problem. Money will always flow from people to you if you solve their problems. The sick man would always need the doctor. A man having lots of battles in the court would always need a lawyer. The student would always need a teacher. Every problem requires a solution. The school needs the student to continue growing. Money flows in the direction of value. Everybody moving around you has money to offer, but it will only come to you if you create value for them. And that will be the exchange for the money that you need. The bigger problems you solve, the bigger money you attract. Number two, where does money hide? Money hides in problems. The more problems you solve, the higher your finances. When you see problems, then know that you are seeing money. Don't look at problems as a reason to be scared. Don't look at problems as a reason to be startled. Look at money. Look at problems as money in disguise. Money hides in problems. Seeing a need and solving that need is what draws value and attracts money to you. In my book, Love That Challenge, I said, challenges are stepping stones to greatness. You're welcome to another episode, Understanding Money. We're looking at unveiling the places where money hides, part 2. Today we're looking at the subject, money hides in gifts and talents. Every person on earth is gifted. There is nobody without a gift. If you're watching me right now, I'm reminding you that you have a gift and a talent that is waiting to be discovered and to be monetized. Money hides in your giftings and in your talents. There are people that have been broke out of their singing talent. They've been able to change their financial path and sustain and gain financial freedom for themselves and their entire generation. There are people from the gifting of acting. They've been able to sustain their families. They've been able to pay their bills and clear their debts. Why? Money hides in gifts and talents. Are you using your gift today? You are gifted and you have something to offer. The beauty of life is that the Creator made sure that everybody has something to offer. Even the plants, the livestock, the animals, they all have a purpose. They all have something to offer. Man will always need the plants. The plants will always need man. Man will always need the animals. And the animals will always need man. So we are all useful and we have something to offer. You are a potential waiting to be explored. You are a potential waiting to explode for the world to recognize and discover you. Have you discovered your potential and what are you doing to unleash that potential? Dr. Emmanuel Olumide said, your gold is tied to your gift. People remain poor and broke because of ignorance. What kind of ignorance? Ignorance of their potential. Ignorance and laziness. Laziness to discover that which they have inside. The laziness, some people have discovered who they are, some people have discovered the giftings inside of them, but they are too lazy to work on it. When you discover your giftings and your talent, you ought to research on your gift. You ought to strengthen your gift by studying it, by learning about it and practicing, making use of your gift, making use of your skills until it becomes sharpened. And when it becomes sharpened, it becomes marketable. You know, when you are training fishes, You talk about training it to a market size because you can't sell it to the market for eating if it hasn't reached a certain. Welcome back. We're in the financial literacy series and we've been looking at where money hides. Today we're looking at where money hides part 3. Money hides in products and services. 50% to 90% of the money that you've spent this year has gone to products and services. These are products that you need for the day-to-day running of your life, and you've paid for them, and you keep paying for them, you keep paying for the services. If you get sick today, you have no choice but to pay for your medical bills. That is a service being provided to you. So money hides in products and services. For you to maximize the money or to mine the money hidden in goods and services, you have to discover the kind of products that you can create. And I'm going to talk about that in the next point. Look for a product that you can make. Look for an idea. Look for a service you can render that could attract money to you. And then you discover that the flow of money will begin to move towards a direction. The next point, money hides in ideas. Ideas, they say, rules the world. Products and services are basically documented and acted up ideas. These are ideas that have come to certain people and they've documented it and they've taken steps and acted on those ideas to make them a reality, and then it's cumulated to become a product or a service to mankind. Smart work today is more powerful than muscle work. There are people that say I'm hardworking and the only hard work they can do is just transferring heavy files, transferring heavy items to make money. That is muscle work. But smart work is about discovering ideas, maximizing the ideas, researching on the ideas, documenting it, and taking actions to make those ideas work. That is smart work. The richest people on the planet today are people that have sat down to think sufficiently and create ideas that will change their world, and they've documented it, researched on it, and acted upon it, and that has brought them more. Don't just have a vision, plan towards the vision, be determined towards fulfilling that vision, work towards it, and remain consistent. Today, I want to share with you my personal journey to success and abundance. Now, this happened because I got an encounter with a book that I read, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book has been a major catalyst to my transformation in life. I believe if you get an encounter with this book, you would also experience success. In this video, we're going to be discussing how the book has transformed me and the key points from the book. It doesn't matter if you are already familiar with this book or you are hearing about it for the first time. One thing is certain, this video will give you valuable insights into the principles of wealth and success that would help you achieve financial freedom and live the best life. My name is Collins Dan Jumbo. You're welcome to this video. Now, the lessons. Number 1, the power of a definite purpose. In Think and Grow Rich, Hill stressed the fact that every individual must have a concise, definite purpose in life. In one of my books, I said, purpose is the driving force of life. I also stated that purpose is the fuel that lubricates your journey through life. I learned that a goal without a plan is just a wish. We keep hearing about vision. This book taught me about vision. It taught me that it's not enough to have a vision, but I must take out time and make a plan to make that vision become a reality. It also made me understand that in my vision, I should make sure I apply what we call determination and focus. A great person said, in consistency lies the power. Don't just have a vision, plan towards the vision, be determined towards fulfilling that vision and have a plan, work towards it, and remain consistent. Number 2 lessons, the importance of a positive mental attitude. Our thoughts shapes our reality. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill teaches us to cultivate a positive mental attitude towards achieving success and abundance in our lives. These lessons are very important to me, and I've seen tremendous impact and the power it has had on me since I started reading this special book. As a matter of fact, the Think and Grow Rich book is scarce. I mean, every store I went to buy the hardcover again, they said it has been sold out. So what I keep doing is I keep reading the digital copy, which I already have. So Think and Grow Rich is a valuable resource. Number 3 lessons from the Think and Grow Rich book is the law of attraction. You may have heard this before, but I tell you, the law of attraction is very important because it teaches us that our thoughts determines the attraction that we get. So your thoughts can actually attract lots of opportunities, amazing opportunities to you. Your thoughts could also attract negative or positive experiences. Now, you must understand that you must maintain a positive outlook to attract the positive things that you want to experience in your life. Do you want to be a millionaire? So think like a millionaire. And how do you think like a millionaire without knowing how millionaires think? So you read books written by millionaires, you listen to messages by millionaires, you get their valuable points and know how they think and begin to think like them. No one can make you fail without your permission. Life is a risk. The risk you are able to take to achieve your goals is what will determine the value that will return back to you monetarily. You're welcome to today's episode. Creating wealth for the 21st century is our subject. A great man said, no one can make you fail without your permission. I'm going to be sharing a story before I move into today's broadcast. A very rich man who owns several estates decided to give his daughter's hand in marriage, and he sent for all the young men in the city to come to him. And when the young men gathered, saying he's going to give them his daughter and also hand them over a check of $1 million for whoever wins the contest. So all the brilliant, strong, brave men came to this man's mansion in his estate. And the man gathered them and said, you're all welcome for this very opportunity. And all of a sudden, he took them to his pool, which is as large as an Olympic stadium. So when he got to the pool, he pulled out fresh meat and began to drop into the pool. When he dropped into the pool, the alligators began to come out of the pool and then began to fight for those meat. So all the young men were watching the man, wondering what the man is about to say. All of a sudden, the man said, any of you here who can get into the pool, which is so large, like an Olympic stadium. So if you can enter that pool and swim to the end of the pool, my daughter will become your wife today, and I'm going to give you $1 million as a reward. What a juicy offer. So they began to look at the man with anger, that you are such a wicked man. You are a murderer. How do you tell us to go into the pool? So while they were arguing and speaking to the man, they noticed a sound like a flap with a splash on their faces. And they discovered that a man has dived into the pool and was already swimming, gasping for air, moving straight to the end of the pool. And finally, the man succeeded and came out of the pool. The father of the girl was surprised and said, I didn't know somebody would be able to do this task. Wow. He took the man and said, young man, come. You have won this contest already. Come and take your check of $1 million, and then I'm going to give you my daughter as a wife. You're a brave man. And the young man stood and said, keep your check and keep your daughter. I'm not interested in any of those. I want to know who pushed me into the pool. Now, it doesn't matter if the young man did not prepare to enter the pool to get that prize. He was pushed into the pool and he had to fight for his life. So he was not fighting for his wealth. He was fighting for his life. I tell people that life is a risk. The risk you are able to take to achieve your goals is what will determine the. Number 2, unleash your potential. So many people have died without unleashing their potential. You know, Miles Moron said something. He said, the graveyard is filled up with the greatest asset on the planet Earth. Now, most people think that gold is the greatest asset, but the greatest asset is in the mortuary and in the cemetery, because books that were supposed to change nations were never written. People hoarded those materials, thought about it, had solutions to the problems that will happen in the 21st century, but they never had the opportunity of unleashing their potential of writing. They never harnessed their potential of speaking to their nation so that it can be documented for the next generation to take those information, because history determines today's reality. And now they are dead and nothing can be done. So those are the greatest assets in the cemetery. And may you also not be among those that would die without being empty. We aim to die empty, meaning we've utilized every giftings and potential that we have. You can do almost everything if you put your heart to it. All you need to do is to learn and study, and you can get better every day. Number 3, discover your market. It's not enough to uncover your potential and your talents and your giftings. It's not enough to unleash your potential. You need to discover your target market. What market requires and desires the talent that you offer? Book readers may never love your music, so selling your music to book readers may not work. Music lovers may never love your prayer album, so selling your prayer album to them may never work. So the question is, where is your target audience? Everybody has a market, but you need to discover that market so that you focus your marketing on that market. And that's why we have different channels like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and the rest of these platforms. You are able to do marketing targeting your audience. You are not marketing to the whole world. You are marketing to the audience that is interested in the product that you have to offer. And that is what makes you stand out in this life. You must understand that the bigger your market, the greater your income. Your market can be bigger by virtue of revelation, by virtue of discoveries. Number 4, develop your product. Don't just say you're a writer and then you just write vaguely. You didn't research, no proofreading, no nothing. You just release the book. No packaging. Develop your product. Packaging matters. People are moved by what they see at first sight. You know, they say love at first sight. Love at first sight means you can't be a business owner without being teachable. You must be open to change. If your business is not known, then you don't exist. Hello everyone. In this video, I want to talk to aspiring entrepreneurs who have studied about entrepreneurship and they are aspiring to become business owners. There are certain things you need to understand before starting your business. And if you don't understand these things, it's going to affect you and the kind of business that you are starting. Many businesses start, but they end up failing. And I believe with this video, it will put you at an advantage to start your business and make your business profitable. Let's go into the video now. Number 1, networking. As a business owner, you can't start a business without the mentality of networking. There are people that say they are inside kind of persons. They do not like to associate with people. You can't be a profitable business owner without having the mentality of networking. Networking has to do with building relationships with other business owners and industry leaders in your field. These leaders can provide for you valuable resources that you could use to push your business to a higher level. Imagine trying to start a printing business. There are people who have made maximum impact in the field of printing. They've gone through the stage of starting very small and growing to medium and being very profitable in that business. If you relate with them and attend their meetings, you will be able to discover the challenges they experienced when they were starting, and you will be able to use their experiences to better your business. So relating and networking with other business owners and industry leaders in your field would enable your business move to the next level and overcome the obstacles you may face while starting that business. Number 2, adaptability. As a business owner or an aspiring business owner, adaptability is very important because it shows your openness and your willingness to learn. You can't be a business owner without being teachable. You must be open to change. What worked 10 years ago may not work today. So you must be ready to change and adapt to new opportunities and use them to better your business. Your openness and your willingness to change and to learn is going to keep you at an advantage, a competitive advantage in your industry. So it's very important that you open up yourself to learn and to adapt to the changes that are necessary for your industry. Number 3, market research. The market research is very important. It's so funny how many people go into business without doing a proper market research. Market research helps you to understand your target markets and their needs. This is very crucial for business success. When you do a great and a successful market research, it enables you to create products and services for your market because you've understood the kind of products and services that your market requires and needs. Number 4, financial management. You can't be a successful business owner without understanding how to manage your finances. Every successful business person have been very good with their record keeping. And this is what will make you stand out in your business. Record keeping, financial management, very important. Proper management of your finances, budgeting, and book record keeping is very crucial for the long-term success of your business. Number 5, branding and marketing. Now, branding and marketing is very important to every aspiring business owner. If you're planning to start a business, you must be very specific on your branding and then your marketing. Your branding and your effective marketing of your business would help you stand out in a crowded market. Now, when you look at my videos, personally, I decided to use one suit. Why? The market of speaking is crowded already. So when you look at my videos and you see someone on a green suit, the first thing that comes to your mind is, this is Collins. That is my brand. So you can decide, what would people know you for? What would they know your business for? That is the branding. And then effective promoting your business. If your business is not known, then you don't exist. It doesn't matter the number of products you've made. It doesn't matter the number of services that you provide. If people don't know that your business exists, even in the streets and in the area where you are, then you do not exist. A great man said, nothing happens until a sale is made. Work on your branding and marketing if you need to start a business or if you've already started your business. Number 6, legal compliance. This is very important because if you're starting a business, you must understand the legal requirements, study the legal requirements in your industry